Good afternoon, keepers of the Cage. Gary B, the casual comic guy here. And today, as always, I am joined with my best friend, Michael Cologne.
How's it
All
going?
right. And today we are here to talk about the final episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier called One World, One People. And it was a pretty fast paced episode. For a 51-minute episode, it went by pretty quick. And I think even though this one was a bit longer, it's probably going to take us less time to talk about this one just because it was mostly action scenes and one big dialogue. But it was a fun episode for me. I really enjoyed it. We'll get to our once we critique this episode, we'll give our episode critique, and then we'll go in and we'll critique the whole season and what we thought. So when we open, we have Carly and Flag Smashers. They're sounding desperate. The GRC's on lockdown and they're being gassed out and they're being herded. All right, and they're trying to drive Bucky and Sam in there while they get the other people out. And so Bucky and Sam are split up. They're going in separate. We see the reveal of Sharon Carter, where she had that cool little mask on, where they do the bloop, 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 bloop,
The Mission Impossible mask.
yeah. So really cool. But how'd that whole kind of a quiet opening scene? How'd that work for you?
It was all right. I mean, it just like went straight into it. Like it really didn't set anything up. It just went straight into the action. Like you had the build up of the last episode straight into the action without explaining. Like, well, I was confused because I was like, wait, where'd he get the suit from? I thought it was gonna be a big reveal at the end, and he just came in with the new suit, and I was like, wait, where'd he get it from? I thought he
That's the
gave.
package Bucky gave him. That's the
So
way
that
he
was the
opened in
all
the
right.
last
See,
episode. They just didn't show it. They just didn't actually show the suit. That's what Bucky gave him from
all
Wakanda.
right. So it was just yeah. See, they didn't really like
They just teased it at the end of the last episode. They saved the big reveal for this one.
yeah, but it just like went straight into it, quick
And
and
then
to
we
the
had,
point. Sometimes what I like.
oh yeah, no, it was fun. But then you had Bucky and Sam going in separate. Bucky was going in with Sharon, and then you get the great entrance from Sam when he throws the shield through the window and he dives in, and you get right there. You get the moment, right, the debut of the new suit, and Sam introduces himself not as the Falcon but as Captain America. And it was they had the music, they had the show of the suit. I thought the suit looked great. It was actually comic accurate. You wouldn't know that, but it's
Yeah,
comic accurate, so it was really nice. What did you think of the suit reveal and just the reveal in general of him coming with the shield going through the window and then him flying in?
oh, I thought the suit looked fantastic. Actually, it was probably one of the best suits I've seen in like out of all the Marvel, out of the shows and movies. I mean, besides like the Iron Man suits, I really like those, but this one actually looked really cool. I like the whole wings with it, the look, the color, everything. It just looked amazing.
It did, and I don't know about you, man, but I've absolutely loved how they use that suit this season. The way they use the wings, they go up, they go down. The way he flies, the way he goes into everything. Oh, let's see, we got a couple people in. All right, Fable, Chamorro, Station Gents. I don't know if Mike knows. Mike, you know what station means?
Station, Bill and Ted.
Yes. All right. See,
Come on, of
I know
course.
you and I are old. We know this stuff.
Dude, I watched the recent Bill and Ted, man. I love that movie.
I still got to see it, and I love those movies. I love the second one so much. I love how Death is so insecure. Don't
You
overlook
are
my
just stuck
part in
in my
this,
battleship.
right? Oh, Death is so great. Thanks for joining, gents. We're just getting going. We're talking about the opening scene and the reveal of his costume. And the costume, like you were saying, I loved it too. I thought the design was great. It was comic accurate. It looked really good. I really liked all the white up here, then the blue, and it really like struck a vision. And then he had those like kick-ass goggles that he had on that looked really cool. And then, of course, he's got to fight Batroc. So you got Batroc who's fighting Sam, trying to delay him, and then you got Bucky and Carly having a conversation on the phone. The whole time that she's talking to him, though, she's just delaying him as they're shepherding the people out and trying to get them in lockdown to take them away and hold them hostage. But so Bucky's tricked and delayed by Carly. You got the GRC senators that are kidnapped in the helicopter, and then you get the great chase with Sam and the new Red Wing. So there was a lot going on there. First of all, what did you think of the fight between Sam and Batroc?
Hold on real quick. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, I was gonna say it was pretty much the only scene in the whole. I mean, like it was one of the few fight scenes in this whole episode that was really, really like choreographed really well. Sorry, my kid just threw me off.
Oh no, you're okay. That's what kids do, man.
I know, right? No,
I thought this was good too. Go ahead.
No. I'm just turning up my volume a little bit. Go ahead.
But I don't care for the Batroc character, so I was waiting for him to get this whole episode. I didn't really care for him in the Winter Soldier either when they had him in there. But
was he the guy on the boat?
Yes, that Captain America fought in the beginning.
Yeah, he kept annoying me in the episode, so I'm like, man.
Oh, and we lost him, guys, but we're just gonna go with it for a second. So we're gonna talk about that aerial flight scene. Oh, here he is. He's back. Hit
Sorry.
a button, huh?
Sorry, wrong button.
And that aerial flight scene, that's the one thing they've done phenomenally well in this series, man. Whenever Sam's in the air, it's extraordinary. And I don't know if it's been working for you the same way. Like watching those aerial scenes and him fighting against the helicopters has just been amazing. Yeah,
I wish Marvel would share their tech with every other company because their CG is spot on. I mean, I've never seen any better CG in a movie like that. This is probably the best CG I've ever seen because you can't even tell half the time.
And it's in a series, not even a movie.
Yeah.
And then also phenomenal was just the way the new Red Wing was used, and that it could split into two Red Wings, and how it's communicating and scanning everybody in there, pulling up all their files.
I know, right? Pulling that link.
Oh,
I like how I pulled the pilot out.
And I love the Bucky fight too. The Bucky fight was great, especially his arrival on the motorcycle and how he just launched himself off the motorcycle into that guy was amazing. I thought that was a pretty badass moment.
I love Bucky.
Oh, just a lot. Yeah, I want them both to get their own separate movies now, so they can shine the light on both. Make Bucky Nomad and let him do a Nomad movie. Sam's of course going to have the Captain America movie, but so you're having the fight on the ground, and Bucky has that great entrance, but he's fighting a lot of people. Carly wants to get away with him, so she sets a whole nother transport on fire to distract Bucky because she knows give him somebody to save. So he's got to save their lives, and John Walker arrives, and he's still kind of being the douchey Captain America that he is.
Yeah,
Morgenthau announcing himself and doing his strutting instead of just arriving on the scene and fighting. Right? He's always got to yell and announce himself.
Yeah.
So he's fighting Carly. We go back in the air, and the chopper fight's still going, and Sam's able to take out the pilot. The senator gets control, and but they had dumped him. Station Chip, but they had dumped him in the water, Sam, and then he came back out, and I love Sam's line, "Boy, you just earned this ass whooping," when he comes out of the water, which I thought was a great line. So how is that whole action sequence is going back and forth playing out for you?
Like I said, like you said in the beginning, this episode went by really fast. Like the action scene, it was just all action, so it just kept going by too fast. I didn't get enough to really take it all in, so I didn't rewatch the episode. And I watched it once, so it was like it was really good. All the action was really good. It just went by too fast for me.
And as those of you in the audience can tell, Mike is still looking for his Twilight Princess.
I hate you. Look, I told you it's the only hat I could find. Not
I
even.
couldn't help it, buddy. It's a Zelda hat. It's cool.
Oh man.
All right, so we had the boy. You just earned this ass whooping. All right, so Sam takes out the pilot. Then you got the John Walker and Carly fight, and both of them are out for blood. Each one's trying to kill the other.
Yeah. Yeah. That. Now I love that part. Them two fighting each other,
Right?
Carly and the agent.
Oh
Agent.
yeah, John
John
Walker and
Walker.
her were great, and that was a great fight. And you got his at-home garage-made shield not holding up to the test.
It was so dented after a couple punches.
Right? But it was great. Azores, how you doing, sir? And so that fight was going. Bucky's still fighting, and Bucky's saving who he can. And you saw how strong the tech was they were using because Bucky had to punch it so many times and then just use his super strength to tear it off. But then Bucky falls down below. You got the fight still going on. And this is where you're seeing Bucky really be badass, which is what I love when you're watching Bucky fight, is Sebastian Stan really sells the fights he's in. Like when he's going with those guys, it's spot on. Their fight choreographers
She
are
did.
amazing. And Azores, Nerdy, Tomorrow, Fable, just shouting out the crowd again.
Yeah, I'm reading all their comments.
Yeah, you have John tries to save the GRC members in the van because when Bucky gets knocked over the edge, you got the van hanging there. And then you have Carly and all them are on John Walker now trying to tear him off so those people fall and die. And they all go down. And then you have, of course, Sam come in and save the day, which was awesome. Just, you get the shot of the shield on his back. And I thought it was cool, all the abilities that they showed in the suit, pushing it up, and just all the stuff was great. And that scene at the bottom too, they get those people up. They're fighting on the ground. I love that Sam's Red Wing took out that lock in like a couple seconds with its.
I know
laser.
it just like lasered around it really fast. made Bucky look obsolete for a second.
Right, and then so they do that. They get all the fighting. Sam saves them, and you have that great moment with the crowd, right? When you got the two guys on the side, and he goes, "That's the Black Falcon there, I tell you." And the other guy's like, "No, that's Captain America." I just thought that was a great moment. And so you had two scenes now that set up Sam as Captain America, and I thought both scenes were great. His intro and him introducing himself as Captain America, and then the new crowd seeing him for the first time in the new suit and recognizing him as Captain America. So how did all that play for you? I mean, that was a lot. There was so much going on there. I know it's a lot to talk about.
The funny thing is, because I thought of a complete different movie when that whole scene was happening. I could think about when we went to go see the Amazing Spider-Man 2, when the little kid walked out in front of Rhino and there was all the people there. That's all I could think about when Sam and all the people was behind him and they were like, yeah. And I was like, well, shouldn't y'all be like kind of like far away because they're all fighting right there? But that's like side note right there.
Right.
I like the fact that
it really was Azores.
I like the fact that they announced him as Captain America. I like that. The guy's like, no, he's just Captain America. There's no need to put like black in front of his name. Just he's Captain America. He's no longer the Falcon.
Right, and it was great. And the cool thing is Sam has the same heart, the same drive as Steve Rogers has. He's a pure soul as his person. He's the right person and a great person to take over the role. And I can't wait. We're going to get a Captain America 4 with Sam as the lead, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. And I still the costume was great. So you get the smoke shot down there. You see Sharon up in the crowd. She's getting a little agitated when the smoke goes down there, and the Flag Smashers escape real quick. And then you got Bucky, Sam, and John Walker in pursuit of them. All right, John Walker and Bucky split off. Sam's going straight ahead, and then you hear the bird call. That's their signal, and you find out Carly's being duped by Sharon Carter, and we all knew Sharon was the power broker, but this is where you get that confirmation in this conversation. Excuse me, when she's talking to her, says, I took you guys in, I gave you jobs, you stole from me, and you got that little talk between her and Carly where you could see the pureness in Carly's motivations in that speech, where it wasn't about the power. It wasn't about I have it written down here. It wasn't about power, it wasn't about empire. It was about changing the world for the better. Where Sharon's just out for power because she's bitter about everything that happened to her. And then you have Batroc show up. And probably one of my favorite scenes, because I know a lot of people like that character. The Batroc character is like a whiny little child to me. And he's always just annoying. So when Sharon shot him, I was like, yeah, all right, good. He's done. Then, right? But again, a good setup, a lot going on. You got the reveal for the people who weren't putting the pieces together. They just come out and call Sharon the power broker. So all the pieces are out in the open with those three. Now that it's out in the open, Sharon wants to silence them because she can't let it out that she's the power broker. She's still trying to get in with the government. And so this is just before Sam arrives. What do you think about that little three off between her, Batroc, and Carly?
I agree with you. When she shot him, I was like, "Oh my god, thank God!" he was annoying me too.
They just weren't writing good enough for me. I think he was the weakest part of the writing. Every time they wrote him, his dialogue was just annoying.
I don't know. That's how I felt. See, that's how I felt about Carly. Like, I was kind of hoping that she would just end her there, like hurry up and end her. I was like waiting for Carly to go.
Well, I didn't think they were going to kill Carly too, Craig. This last episode did feel a bit rush nerdy, but I still loved it. But yeah, I mean, it was fast paced. It was a 51-minute episode that felt like 20 minutes.
It definitely did feel that short. It revealed a lot going into the future of the Marvel universe, what they're going to do with Sharon, if she's going to be like one of the main people going forward.
Right. Well, and that's I, for one, am glad they're doing something with the character, because they didn't give that character enough to do in the movies that she was in. She was such a little piece of it. And now they're finally utilizing the actress, giving her something meaty. But so Sharon kills Batroc, and Carly shoots Sharon. So Sharon's down. Sam arrives. He didn't hear the whole conversation. He has no idea that she's the power broker. He just sees his friend down on the ground. And Sam, completely in character, he's not fighting Carly. He's just trying to reach her. This is the grief counselor and the trauma counselor that's in Sam from when he used to counsel people that served that had trauma.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to save a life. He's trying to not see anyone else get killed. And
that's where I feel like
taking a beating.
This is why I felt like Zemo. I felt like I related more to like what he kept saying is like, you cannot reach out to people like that because they have one goal and they're never going to stop. She was never going to change her mission. No matter how hard he tried, no matter how good his heart was, she was never going to change.
No, but he had to try. Tomorrow, Chip,
I give him the Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted. Tomorrow, that's what happens when you become a parent, dude. Mike can tell you, I can tell you. Once you become a parent, you become a softie. There's no way around it. Everything sets you off.
Yes, I agree.
Parenthood will ruin you for crying that stuff.
Parenthood turned me into a big softie. I used to be able to like watch anything, and now I watch stuff, and it's like I need to turn half the things off because I get emotional.
Uh, so um, so we got that great. So Carly's completely gone at this point. She's gonna shoot and murder Sam. She's that mentally gone, that absorbed into what she's doing. And then Sharon shoots her and kills her, and she saves Sam's life.
Or like shoot her
Um,
to silence her.
well, no, because if I think there's still some loyalty to Sam and Sharon because Sharon could have waited to kill Carly until she shot Sam.
True.
Sharon was off to the side. No one was thinking about Sharon. So there's still something in Sharon that's loyal to Sam and loyal to Bucky because she could have let Carly finish Sam off and then shot her. She didn't have to save Sam. She could have let him die and then killed Carly and walked out of there clean. Jerry, Ruby G, how you doing, gents? I don't think a lot of people really caught that though. I think a lot of people thought like you did that she was just trying to silence her. And but she could have been done with both of them and still got reinstated.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she needs Sam. Like she needed Sam for the reason to get into the government. So she had use for Sam. Sam is
Yeah,
to me just a tool for her.
right, but she still had Bucky she could have used too.
She could have, but you think they're gonna take a word of a I don't want to call him a serial killer, but
No,
a
but
former killer.
he got a reverse. But I thought it was a great scene. So now the
Yeah.
two people in that scene that knew Sharon as the power broker are dead. And then Sharon's just with Sam now. And then we go back to which I thought was a fun modern moment when the remaining flag smashers get caught because of the stupid app they use to find each other.
I know.
You got Bucky. Oh, great app, very useful. Well, let me see. Do y'all think how everything in the late last episode was extremely predictable? Well, yeah, but I
Yes.
think they really set it up to be though, Taylor. I don't think they were trying to surprise us. Predictable, yes. I mean, we all knew like a couple episodes ago they were setting Sharon up to be the power broker. And sorry for typos. Yes, our nerd leader has arrived. It's all right, Taylor. I knew what you meant, buddy. But then you have so they're caught. Now we have Carly dead, and then you get the hero moment from Sam when they showcase the heart of Sam just with the slow-mo walk out with Carly's body. And there was a lot of acting I thought going on with Sam just in the way he moved and just with the expression on his face. True. I mean, the episode definitely wasn't without its little issues. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. So did Sharon really lead Zemo and real scientist, or is it? That I think is well, no, that was a real guy because Sharon confirmed a few times that she needed in this episode. She confirmed a few times with Carly that she needed them. She didn't have the power thing anymore, and that's the whole reason for the end credit scene, which we'll get to. Right, they still got to set up Torres as the new Falcon.
They alluded to that last episode.
They did. Well, I agree with Taylor. They could have brought Taurus into this and had him like fiddling with the wing. He could have been in a post credit episode. Comic Drill, how you doing? I think John Walker will end up in his own Disney show before he gets a movie. I think they'll set up a U.S. agent show. That's my feeling anyway. And but it's great. So you get the heart of Sam. He's walking out there, and then we have the big speech moment, the big talk with Sam about labels, terrorists, refugees, and thugs, and how they're making these laws without any opinions of the people it actually impacts. And I thought it was a great callback too to Thanos when that feeling of helplessness, and the any given day speech. This is how all these people feel on any given day. I thought that was a great part, and the only power I have is that I believe we can do better. Another great speech moment I thought from Sam, and just the reactions. And the thing that these episodes did too was use the power of social media that we're all subject to now. Like you can't do anything without being caught by a phone camera. And
pretty much.
these episodes really embrace that part of our reality now. So, what do you think about the whole Sam speech with the senators and?
That speech made my mind think about a lot of stuff. Oop, I'm
They sure
echoing
did
on
as
your end.
yours. I thought they teased Patriot a little bit more, but they were still setting him up nice. Now that his grandfather has the legacy.
Oh, I'm echoing on your end, Gary.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me see. So it says more than I got to turn you down probably a little because I had it up when I was rewatching the episode and taking notes. So Taylor says I'd say it's more likely to have a Thunderbolts Dark Avengers series than just that is likely. Because I could see them using the Countess as a Norman Osborn character and setting up the Thunderbolts instead of Norman Osborn. So I could see that happening for sure.
So during Sam's speech, he mentioned like when he was talking during the speech, he was talking about like basically how after the blip, when everybody came back, that they can do they better in finding a reason what to do with everybody. And it made me think like, well, when the blip happened, what happened after that then? Because if you want to get into real reality, if a blip actually happened like that in real life, like half of the like probably the whole world's gonna collapse. I mean, if half the population disappears in the whole entire world, who like you don't know who those people are, and a lot of those people could be important people that supply the power grids, that farmers. So it made me think like Sam's speech made half sense to me, and the other half of his speech, I'm like, although if you get down and technical with it, they're trying to come up with the reason, but there's going to be no reason that's good because when like where did everybody go after the blip? Like, did they all go to America and just settle there, or what happened?
Well, I don't think that was the point of Sam's speech, though. The point of the speech is, I thought to me was there's no easy answers, right?
There is no
And
easy
they're
answer.
playing that on both sides that there's no easy answers.
But
But
weren't they
you're never
sending
going to get the
everybody
right
back?
answers if you're just sitting in the same room with the same people that have the same benefits as you all the time.
But weren't
And I
they
thought that was
sending?
mostly the point. They're sitting in a room of people that have the same exact benefits as them, and they're making decisions for all these other people that don't have those benefits, who are just prey to whatever this group of people decides.
Yeah, but the main thing which the Flash Masters were fighting for, they didn't want to go. They didn't want people to be sent back to their homes, right? Or like that. This is why I got a little confused. Like what were they doing with the people? Were they sending them back to the countries they came from? Because of
Well, yeah, they had the refugee camps and they were displaced, so there wasn't a place for them in the world. Especially like people are coming back and they can't go to the home they had. That home's either gone or someone else is there, or like what if you were part of the blip? You come back 5 years later and your wife is married to somebody else.
yeah, but and
There's
that's the
all
whole
there's
thing.
That's the whole thing. I mean, if they were going to get into all that, that would have been a year-long episode.
See, but you know
just that
me, I tend to
just that
overthink
discussion alone.
everything.
I
I
thought they
overthink
did good.
everything I watch.
Well, I thought they did good canvassing it without because I mean, you're right. There's so much and it's so involved, but you can only cover so much in an
Yeah,
hour show.
exactly. So it made me think like they were trying to come up with a solution, whether you think it was bad or good, and they didn't get really input for everybody else. But what is a good solution? There's never going to be a good solution for people coming back 5 years later.
There wasn't, but they kind of mentioned that in the speech, which I thought was a strength of the writing. That there is no easy solve, but the best way to solve it is by the inclusion of everybody. At least you can make headway, and you might, you can't. It can't just be the same group of or 12 or 24 people always deciding it. It's a new world. It needs new solutions. It can't be run like it was before. It can't survive the way it was before. It's certainly not surviving now. And, you know, they're something's got to be different. You got to head in a new direction. Either it'll work or it won't work, but it doesn't hurt to try.
Oh,
Yes,
definitely.
I agree, Shop. But I thought it was really good, and I thought the canvas of the statement was a great statement, and just a really good speech. And then we had the great banter after the speech with Sam and Bucky. I was texting. All I heard was a blah blah blah, Black Captain America, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He's picking on Sam, and these are the moments that were making the show for me, right? The growing friendship between Sam and Bucky. Because not only, I mean, they bust on each other like you and I bust on each other. You and I are so completely brutal to each other, just picking on each other. And then,
You're worse though.
we say
You're
the
way worse
dumbest
than me.
things to each other. And, Sam and Bucky do the same thing because they have that camaraderie now. And they've earned their friendship together. They've earned each other's respect, and they've grown together as friends. And they can do that in little moments, which really are the glue of this series, are the Sam and Bucky moments.
Yeah. And also
And
the
then,
scene after that with Bucky when he finally told the old man
yes,
that I know I'm skipping a little bit, but it was a great nod to him finally coming through with his demons and embracing like the friendship with Sam, because Sam had a lot to do with him finally telling the man that his story about his son.
he did. That was a complete callback to the last episode where Sam says, "Do the work." But before we get to that, though, you had the Flag Smashers being escorted away in the prison, going to prison. The one guy, one world, one people, letting you know the movement's still alive. And then it gets blown up, and you see Baron Zemo's butler. I'm just going to call him his butler. I don't really know what he is. His employee, the old dude up there in the car. And then it shows Zemo listening to the broadcast. And Zemo's still at play. Zemo can be locked up. Zemo still has all his pieces moving.
Yeah. And guys,
he's a superior intelligence. And
well, everybody's playing, what is it, checkers? He's playing chess, is what they say.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Yeah, Gangster Alfred for sure. Oh, couldn't have said it better, man. That's spot on. Good day, sir. But yeah, that was awesome. And then we switch from the bomb attack. We go back to the Countess with John Walker's wife, and John Walker coming out as the U.S. agent, which we all saw coming. You may not have, because you don't know the comics.
Yeah.
But I was waiting for him to become the U.S. agent through the whole series, and a good reveal. And I think, like Taylor said, it's going to be setting up for a Thunderbolts. And then after that, we get to the scene you were talking about, where Bucky's doing the work. He leaves the note for the therapist. He completed the book, but it's not completed in the way he was completing it before. Now he's gone, and he's given each of these people some closure. And they just showed that by the one scene with the guy that he had become friends with that they had set up in the first episode. Absolutely, Thunderbolts. And I don't know what you think, One Shot, but I think the Countess, instead of Norman Osborn, they're going to use the Countess to bring in the Thunderbolts. So then you get after the Bucky talk, and again, Sam just killed it. Not Sam. Sebastian Stan just killed it in those scenes as Bucky when he's sitting there. Just his acting was great, and then you got Sam's acting great in the next one too. Would Sam and Isaiah have their talk? He had the great moment of Isaiah and Sam taking him to the recognition he deserves. And then you had Isaiah and Sam. They're starting to become friends. There's a respectfulness there, especially when he's picking on him. I could tell you're special, not Malcolm X special, not Mandela special. Sam's like, yeah, I know. It's what I'm working though. Yes, definitely more Zemo, Walker on the show, just like Agatha Harkness. Yeah, they did. And you know, the villains is something that Marvel got a knock on when they first started out, but the villains have gotten stronger and stronger, and they've written them better in the recent Marvel years. I agree, One Shot, really good. And you have that moment where they go back to where the Captain America monument is, and Sam got the Isaiah monument up there to finally recognize him for all his years of service and what he went through and what he did for the country. And I forgot to look it up, the actor who played Isaiah, but his acting in that scene was fantastic. You saw and felt all the emotions. Like that actor was just killing it acting in that scene. And you don't know who Patriot is, Mike, but his nephew there
Yeah,
becomes Patriot in the comics. So he pretty much becomes another like a flag wielding hero. He's got like a flag costume, really,
yeah.
really, yeah, part of the Young Avengers. But how did all that play out for you? The scene with Bucky, and then the scene with Sam and Isaiah.
Yeah, I like Isaiah's character. Like his scenes makes a lot of sense for a lot of the message they were pushing throughout the show.
And the actor was
Yeah,
incredible.
really good acting.
A lot of emotion on
His
his face.
story was very tragic. So seeing that he finally could see that everybody's gonna see what he did and all the recognition that he deserved that he never received from the U.S. government. It
And not
was
just for him, for his
it's for
brothers in arms
everybody.
that
For
died.
yeah, it's for everybody. All the soldiers that died during when he was with them, future
Thank you,
soldiers,
George. Carl
past
Lumley.
soldiers. It was just a great scene that showed a lot of emotion. Carl
And
Lumley.
yeah, Azor's Carl Lumley was fantastic as Isaiah. Uh, again, another thing they did well in this series was showing all the actors that they cast. Marvel's great with casting. All these people had all these emotions to go through, and you felt them and believed them, no matter what they were going through. We got One Shot. Seeing Marvel point of view from the villain storyline is fantastic. In the past, the villains show blow up stuff and then disappear. Now you get more. Yes, exactly. And Marvel has really been drawing out their villains a lot better. And their villains aren't um this side I'm bad, this side, they aren't black and white villains where it's just ha ha ha, I'm here and they're twirling their mustache. They're well thought out. They're villains you can sympathize with. A lot of times they're villains that have a cause you can believe in. It's just the methods. Oh, Martian Manhunter dad on Supergirl too. I did not see him as a Martian. I didn't watch
Oh
that part of
yes, I
Supergirl
remember.
too.
He was on there. Yup.
And but the Martian Manhunter on Supergirl was one of the strong points of that series. And it was funny because they could do Martian Manhunter in a TV show, but they said they couldn't do him for movies. But then if you watch the Snyder Cut, you see him at the end. So again, a great scene with Sam and Bucky. With Sam and Isaiah. And then, that great line, now they'll never forget what you did for our country. Never. And that embrace and just the close up of Isaiah's face, again, it was perfect. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. It was just fantastic. And then we go back to Sam and Bucky at Sarah's. That's a more written more and more hope, right? And a lot of little funny parts. With Bucky playing with the kids, and then he's holding out his super arm that all the kids are hanging off it, and he's having a conversation with somebody, and Sam and Sarah together, and it leaves, and then you got Sam and Bucky looking out and then walking off together. You got this friendship cemented, and it wasn't just hey, these guys are friends. The writing really sold and earned this friendship throughout these 6 episodes. And that's what made it so good. It was an earned friendship, and it made it true. What do you think about that scene before we get to the post-credit scene?
Oh, like I said, man, seeing them two together at the end was you knew it was a long journey for them two. The friendship, the struggle each one had individually, and then for it to come full swing around to just them embracing everything and just showing that bond that they're forever gonna have.
Right, they're brothers now.
Yeah, pretty much.
They, it's amazing. You know why I buy into the Sam and Bucky relationship so much? Because it's really a lot how you and I get along, man.
Pretty
You and I
much.
get along so much like that, always busting on each other, but either one of us makes a call, the other guy's there instantly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's just fun because we can have all the bullshit picking, all the BS that happens. As soon as there's something that one of us needs, the other one is immediately there.
Exactly.
And I think that's why this is such a good series for me, man. And that's why I was really happy that I got to review it with you of all people, It's just super awesome.
This is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Me being in front of a camera is not something I do.
Come on, look, dude. I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody else. Anyone that comes on a show with me automatically is going to look better, so they don't have to worry about looking better. They got my ugly face across from them. So instantly, you're already the better option. All right, so let's
no, man, stop it.
Scene. When you got Sharon being pardoned, and you see that Sharon up there, and you can see, again, great acting again, saying a lot with just her facial gestures. When you can see everything that's going on behind the eyes, you can see the machinations. You can see the wheels turning. You can see plans being made. She gets the pardon, and then now they end it, and Sharon, the power broker, has access to weapons and plans. And man, I can't wait to see how that turns out.
She has a lot of power. She just gained even triple.
You both have the face of a radio DJ. You ain't lying.
Oh
buddy.
My God.
You are not lying.
I was about to say I got like the face of a jacked up porn star. That's what I got.
Oh. But again, so overall, what would you give this episode? And then we'll talk about our grade for the series as a whole.
I liked all the action, but remember, I don't know the comics that well, so to me, I'll give it a B. A solid.
As an outsider, it kind of missed the beats for you.
Yeah, because me. That's why after this whole thing ends, me, I'm going to ask you a million questions about like the show, the characters, and everything, like I always do. So B for the episode.
I forgot all about Armor Wars.
Yeah, see, I don't know any of that.
So someone steals all of Tony Stark's tech, and people get armored up.
Oh, that's scary.
Right. And Secret Invasion is when the Skrulls infiltrate. So you got people that, there's some evil Skrulls and they're taking over the roles of other people. So like
Captain Marvel, right?
Yes. So like someone showed up at Amanda's job, took Amanda out and became Amanda. And then all of a sudden you lived with her for 5 years and she's a sleeper agent.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what Secret Invasion
is. Kind of like in the Flash show, the Mirrorverse. I mean, you probably don't know that, but
I know.
They were like body doubling everything, sticking them in a Mirrorverse and sending someone else to take over everybody's lives, and they were living with these people for a long time.
Yeah, they kidnapped the heroes because one of my favorites was kidnapped and made a Skrull, and that's Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman.
Oh wow!
So she has like a lot of PTSD about a Skrull taking over her life and just ruining a bunch of stuff. So you said it'd be so basically a 4 out of 5, or would you say a 3.5 out of 5?
Like the whole series or the show, the episode?
Just this episode. And
then like a 3 out of 5.
All right, so this one's got. I'm going way higher. This is a 4.5 out of 5 for me. I really like the thematic beats. The action was fantastic, but I really like the relationship building a lot in this, especially with Sam and Bucky. And I just like the ease of which Sam became Captain America. Like it felt natural. It didn't feel shoehorned in. I thought the writing portrayed it in a really natural way. And when Sam shows up in the beginning, he says, "I'm Captain America." Well, that's it. He's just Captain America.
Yeah.
He's Captain. That's it. Here's our Captain. And Top of the Pops. So for me, this episode got a 4.5. So let's switch back over to you. Now that you've seen all 6 and you view them as a whole, what would you give the series as a whole? A 1 through 5, 1 being low, 5 being high.
I will say a 4 out of 5. The series was actually really good. Had some, of course, being someone who doesn't know the comics, it was just a couple of like things I didn't understand or just kind of like flew over my head. So I'll give it a solid 4 out of 5.
Which I think is a pretty good rating for somebody who didn't understand everything that was happening in it because you don't read the comics.
You know me, I enjoy everything though. I enjoy every single thing I watch.
So for me, as a guy who does know the comics, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Again, this whole series, the thing that sold this series to me is, yes, the action's always going to be great. It's Marvel, but it was the relationships in this series. Johnny Funko, Top of the Pops. But the relationships made this series for me. The way they dealt with them, the way they developed them, the great script and words that they gave these excellent actors to carry out, and the way that the actors themselves developed these relationships and made them feel like a natural progression. This thing really sold it for me, especially the Sam and Bucky friendship, and just seeing more into their private lives and the trauma they were going through, which was too big of a story to tell in a movie. You kind of needed the series to deal with the personal issues and had that serialized storytelling form. So that really worked for me. When you're looking for more deep storytelling and not just a summer blockbuster. So a definite 4.5 out of 5 stars for me, the series as a whole. And but that's it, man. That's the wrap up. So Mike, you and I have some deciding to do of what we're going to review next. Now
I know, right?
Wait till June for Loki.
We'll talk about it.
Right? Who knows? We might have a little hiatus. We might do a couple movies. You never know with us. But Mike and I will be back doing more, and we'll be talking more TV shows. We'll probably be doing some movie reviews here and there. Star Wars Bad Batch. Yeah, that's true. When does that start, Azores? What's the next big series on Disney besides Loki in June? Because is it a Star Wars one? I don't know. You don't mind reviewing Star Wars, do you, Mike?
No, thank you.
May 4th. Oh, that's not away. The Bad Batch. I'm gonna make you watch the first episode.
I'm not a Star Wars fan. I have nothing against it. Nothing against it. Just not a fan of Star Wars.
But that'd be even great. That'd be even better. you always have the opposing view of the person.
Oh my goodness.
Really
I get thrashed because I like the Solo movie. I think the Solo movie is the best Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't trash you. I thought the Solo movie was really good too. I thought it got too much hate.
Oh my goodness.
It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed the Solo movies. Clone Wars animated is different. Yeah, the Bad Batch is live action, I believe. And Clone Wars animated is different. All right. But that's it. So I don't know. This series was really fun. I really had a fun time doing it with you. And of course, I'm going to bother you now until you do Star Wars Bad Batch with me.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to be completely relentless and on your ass every.
Yeah, I know how you are too. You're going to text me a million times.
Oh, you know it. I'll start making memes up and sending them to you. You know me.
I know. Who's a good little boy, Michael?
Like Star Wars. Listen to Azores. He's not steering you wrong. It's like The Mandalorian. Like The Mandalorian's good, even if you've never.
I've never even watched that.
It's just fun. It's like a space western. It's really good, and I don't like westerns. And The Mandalorian was just incredible, and it was badass. And again, another one based kind of on relationships. But that's all we got for you today, guys. Hopefully you like this ongoing series with Mike and I. We want to keep it going. It's just two average guys review stuff.
If you guys don't like it, you can tell Gary. He can tell me.
Right. We don't ever claim to be professional critics. That's why we're just two average guys, two schmucks off the street giving our opinions. And Mike, I'll let you sign off, and then I'll give the final.
Oh man, you want me to sign off? All right. Live long and prosper.
Yes, there you go, Star Trek. All right. That's it for us, guys. Until next time, as always, thank you for joining us, and keep it casual. And now we get to do my favorite part. Awkward ending.